Hello students, so I'm here again with another video from the chapter Electrochemistry. Today I'll be covering topics variation of conductivity and molar conductivity with concentration, Cauchy's law, and we'll do numericals related to this. Now let us discuss what are the factors that affect ionic conductance. So it depends on your nature of the solvent, concentration of the electrolyte. Now when concentration increases, what happened to the ionic conductance? It decreases, okay? Or with decrease in concentration, your ionic conductance increases. Now why this happen? So concentration, decrease in concentration means increase in dilution, right? Now when you do the dilution, more and more dilution is done, then the volume will increase. With increase in volume of your solution, either your ionization, degree of ionization will increase, or the interionic forces, attraction, will decrease. Now with increase in ionization, the number of ions will increase, more ion will come, right? And with decrease in the interionic forces, the mobility of ion will increase, okay? Now with increase in number of ions and the mobility of ions, what will happen to the ionic conductance? It also increases. So it means decrease in concentration means increase in the ionic conductance. Now next is, it depends on the size of an ion. So now your size of an ion, when it increases, what will happen to the speed of the ion or mobility? Bigger the ion means lesser will be the speed or the mobility. And what will happen to the conductance? It also decreases. So it means less size, smaller the size means more ionic conductance. Okay, it will be more, or bigger the size, lesser will be the ionic conductance. Now your this also depends on solvation. Now solvation, so whenever ions are there, solvent are there, if it is polar, then what will happen is it might surround your ion, and because of that what will happen to the size? Size will increase, and with increase in size what will happen? The ionic conductance will decrease, right? Speed decreases. Now so more solvation means your lesser will be the ionic conductance. Then it depends on the viscosity, okay? So more the viscous, lesser will be the speed of an ion and lesser will be the ionic conductance. Next is variation of conductivity, molar conductivity with concentration. So as we have already discussed that with decrease in concentration or increase in dilution, what will happen to the ionic conductance? It increases. But in case of your conductivity, okay, with increase in dilution, your conductivity decreases, whether your weak electrolyte or strong electrolyte. Now let us discuss why. Okay, now what is conductivity? Conductivity is the conductance of unit volume of solution of an electrolyte, right? Suppose this is your solution and this is your unit volume, okay? Now suppose in unit volume, let us say there are 6 ions. Now when you do the dilution, okay, when you increase the dilution, then what will happen? The volume will increase. Now with increase in volume, what will happen? The ions will move far apart from each other. Okay, so let's say before dilution there was 6 moles of iron. Now after dilution, what will happen? The number of ion in this volume will decrease. So the volume will decrease to 4 ions. So what is happening to the number of ion? It is decreasing, right, per unit volume. So because of that, your conductivity also decreases. The reason for a decrease in conductivity with increase in dilution is the concentration of ions per unit volume decreases. Now your molar conductivity, how it varies with concentration? We know that molar conductivity is conductivity into volume, where this volume is volume containing 1 mole of an electrolyte. Now with increase in dilution, when dilution increases, then what will happen? Volume will also increase, right? So if volume increases, then what will happen to the molar conductivity? It also increases. So every time with increase in the dilution, your or decrease in the concentration, molar conductivity increases for both strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte. But the way with which they varies with the concentration is different. Now let us discuss how the molar conductivity of strong electrolyte, weak electrolyte varies with this concentration. Now let us discuss how this molar conductivity of strong electrolyte, okay, varies with the concentration. Now it has been found that when the concentration decreases or dilution increases, this molar conductivity increases slowly, okay, and when the concentration approaches to 0 or your dilution becomes infinite, then what will happen? This lambda m will reach the certain limiting value, which is called your lambda naught m, that is limiting molar conductivity or conductivity at infinite dilution, okay. The relationship between your molar conductivity and the concentration can also be expressed by your d by Huckel-Unseger equation, and it is lambda m equal to lambda naught m minus a root over of c, where your lambda naught m, again it is your limiting molar conductivity or conductivity at infinite dilution, a is your constant, c is concentration, and lambda m molar conductivity. Now if the graph is plot for this equation between lambda m and c, so what type of graph are we going to get? This is root over of c, 0. Now according, again what will happen? With decrease in concentration, what will happen to the molar conductivity? It increases slowly, okay, and when the concentration approaches 0, what will happen? It will reach a certain limiting value, and this limiting value is what called lambda naught m or lambda infinite m. Molar conductivity at infinite dilution. This is the type of graph you will get when you plot for the strong electrolyte with concentration and molar conductivity, okay. So from the graph, okay, we can easily get the value for lambda naught m or lambda infinite m for any electrolyte. Now next, now let us discuss, so what is the reason for that, okay. Now your strong electrolyte, what is it? So it's an electrolyte where complete dissociation takes place at any concentration, right? Now with dilution, what will happen? There will be no change in ion because the electrolyte is completely ionized, right? But what about the intra-ionic attraction? It decreases with dilution. Now because of decrease in your ionic attraction, what will happen? The speed or the mobility of ion increases. So what will happen to the lambda m? So it slowly increases, okay. But when concentration approaches 0 or your dilution becomes infinite, then what will happen? Your inter-ionic attraction, it becomes negligible. So then that time your molar conductivity will reach the limiting value, which is your molar conductivity limiting molar conductivity or molar conductivity at infinite dilution. This is how your molar conductivity varies with concentration, increases slowly and reach your limiting value after when your concentration approaches 0 or dilution becomes infinite. Next, now let us see, so how this molar conductivity of weak electrolyte, okay, varies with the concentration. Now when we plot a graph between molar conductivity and concentration, root over of concentration, will get this type of graph. So from here what we can say is your molar conductivity increases gradually, okay, and when your concentration approaches 0, then there will be steep increase in the molar conductivity. So because of that your line with this line and this axis become almost parallel, okay. Now let us discuss why this happens. So what is weak electrolyte? So this is your electrolyte which are partially ionized or dissociated at any concentration. Now with decrease in concentration or increase in dilution, what will happen? The degree of ionization will also increase. So because of that the number of ions also increase. So there is gradual increase in the concentration, okay, with decrease in the gradual increase in the molar conductivity with decrease in the concentration. Now, when your concentration approaches 0 or your dilution become almost infinite, then what happens is there will be your degree of ionization, this become 1. Okay, so that means your all number of your all electrolyte will get ionized, almost all. So because of that, the number of ions increases drastically. Okay, so because of that, your lambda m will also increase drastically, and it will almost become parallel to this line. This is steep increase in the molar conductivity. Now, limiting molar conductivity for a weak electrolyte, okay, it's not possible to calculate through this graph or extrapolation of graph. Now why? Because you are getting line almost parallel to this axis, right? So when this cut your lambda m this line, this axis, then only you will get your lambda naught m. But here for weak electrolyte, it's not possible to get the value of limiting molar conductivity through extrapolation of graph. Now, this problem was solved later by Collatz from his law. So, let us now discuss Collatz law. Now, Collatz law of the independent migration. So, he stated that, okay, at infinite dilution, so when the dissociation is complete, right? Now, each ion make a definite contribution toward the molar conductivity of the electrolyte, irrespective of their nature from where they come, okay. So, it means, or in simple word, what we can state the Collatz law as your molar conductivity at infinite dilution for any salt, okay, can be expressed as the sum of the individual contribution from the ions of the electrolyte, or in mathematical terms. So, what we can write, lambda naught m equal to nu plus lambda naught plus and lambda naught minus nu minus lambda naught minus. Now, what is this mu plus and mu minus? So, these are the number of cations or anions according to the formula, and this lambda plus naught and lambda naught minus, these are the molar ionic conductance at infinite dilution. Now, suppose we have magnesium chloride as salt, how it ionize? Mg plus 2 and 2Cl minus. Now, what is the limiting molar conductivity of MgCl2 minus MgCl2 salt? So, it is equal to sum of the ionic conductance, molar ionic conductance at infinite dilution of these ions. So, it is your lambda naught m of Mg plus 2 ion, and now since there is number of ion is 2, so 2 into your lambda naught m of Cl minus ion. Similarly, okay, so if we have acetic acid and it dissociate as CH3COO minus and H plus, so what is its molar conductivity? So it is the molar ionic conductance of each ions, lambda naught m CH3COO minus and lambda naught m of H plus. Now, these are the ionic conductance, okay, molar ionic conductance of your acetate ion and hydrogen ion. So, the value is this much. So, then what would be the value for lambda naught m? For your acetic acid, it is your sum of these two, 40 plus 9 plus 349 plus 6.6. Mole inverse. So, this is your lambda naught m for acetic acid. This is how you calculate. Now, let us discuss the application of Collatz law. First is to calculate limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolyte. So, let us take an example of weak electrolyte, acetic acid. Okay, so these will dissociate as H plus and CH3COO minus, right? Now, limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid is limiting molar conductivity of your ions H plus and CH3COO minus ions. Okay, now see, think of this H coming from any strong electrolyte, HCl, right? And think of this acetate ion coming out from any strong electrolyte, any acetate, sodium acetate. Okay, now what we can do is H plus and lambda naught of your CH3COO minus. Now, so it can comes from HCl. So next ion gets a Cl minus, right? So what we can do, we can add limiting ionic conductance of Cl minus, and we can subtract it, you know, minus lambda naught m of Cl minus ion. So on doing this, what we'll get? The two will cancel and we'll get again the same as above, right? Now again, so this acetate can come from sodium acetate. So what you need here is now sodium ion, limiting molar conductivity of sodium ion plus and minus limiting molar conductivity of sodium ion. Again, the 2 will cancel, this 4 will cancel, and you will get the same as above. Now you group them as strong electrolyte, H and Cl, CH3OOH and your sodium. So what you are going to get? Lambda naught m H plus and lambda naught m Cl minus. Similarly, lambda naught m CH3COO minus and lambda naught m for your Na plus ion. Okay. Now what are left? Your Na and Cl. So these two are again strong electrolyte, right? So when you take minus common, you will get Na plus and Cl minus. Okay, plus. So what are you going to get? Now this is your limiting molar conductivity of HCl according to Collard's law, and these two limiting molar conductivity of sodium acetate CH3COO Na, and this two is minus limiting molar conductivity of NaCl. So if you know the limiting molar conductivity of the strong electrolyte, which is easy to calculate, okay, so we can easily get the limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid. Number 2 application is we can calculate the degree of dissociation for weak electrolyte. Now when the concentration approaches 0, what will happen to the degree of ionization? It becomes equal to 1, right? So the complete dissociation takes place, and degree of dissociation at any concentration is given by lambda m divided by lambda naught m. So this we can get from, as above we did already calculation of limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte, and from there we can easily calculate your degree of dissociation for weak electrolyte. Again it is lambda c m, or molar conductivity at any concentration divided by molar conductivity at infinite dilution. Now last application is your calculation of dissociation constant. Okay, now we know, we have already studied in junior classes that degree of dissociation or dissociation constant, it is alpha square c divided by 1 minus alpha, where alpha is degree of dissociation and c is concentration. Now this alpha we can get from this. So what we can write is lambda naught m into whole square into c divided by 1 minus lambda m divided by lambda naught m. So finally we will get c lambda m square divided by lambda naught m. So lambda naught m minus lambda. So if we have the value of this, okay, we can calculate dissociation, degree of dissociation minus lambda. Now, so we can calculate dissociation constant, degree of dissociation and limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolyte using Collard's law. Now let us try to do this numerical. So conductivity for this concentration of your acetic acid, okay, is your 1.65 into 10 to the power minus 4. And first you need to calculate molar conductivity of the solution, then degree of dissociation of your acetic acid and dissociation constant of acetic acid. So given is your ionic and limiting molar ionic conductance of your H plus ion and acetate ion, okay. So let us see what are given. Now the concentration is given, so it is 0.01 and conductivity is 1.65 into 10 to the power minus 4 Simon centimeter inverse. Now what is molar conductivity? So it is kappa into 1000 divided by concentration, right? Now here kappa is 1.65 into 10 to the power minus 4 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 10 to the power minus 2. So you can write this as 1.65, your 5 minus 4, 10, right, into 10. So you will get lambda m as 16.5 Simon centimeter square mole inverse, okay. Now 2, so you need to calculate its degree of dissociation. Now what is it? So it is your lambda m at any concentration and lambda naught m, that is limiting molar conductivity. Now how to calculate limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid? So this is your, we have already done that, this is ionic limiting molar ionic conductivity of your acetate ion, okay, and limiting molar conductivity of your H plus ion, and this is again given in the question. Kati ho? 349.1 plus 40.9, okay. So you will get 0, 0, 1 gardakheri 9, so 390 Simon centimeter square mole inverse. Now this is your limiting molar conductivity. Now your alpha is limiting molar your molar conductivity at any concentration by limiting molar conductivity. So the value for molar conductivity we got as 16.5 divided by 390, okay, and we'll get value as 0.0423. So second part is also done. Now third is you need to calculate dissociation constant, and what is this? This is